some of us are tall. Can you sort it out? Sanibonani, KwaZulu-Natal. Ninjani? Ngathi aniphilanga nje.
Hawu siqhawaqhawa.
Ningumqhawaqhawa. Igqabi leviniki. Oh. Sitsho ngapha eMpuma Kapa. Sithi umuntu mayiphilile uthi ungumqhawaqhawa igqabi leviniki. Ukhona umuntu ongazongizwa mangikhuluma.
Siyabonga mfondini.
Wala ke ngokuna kuzo isiZulu nesiXhosa zizawuphikisana. Azizudibana umfondini esiXhoseni akafani nasesiZulwini. Siyakuva mfondini ngathi ulwile. So that's why ngqonda maniyilungise le ndaba. Xa uthi ukuthi yemfundini oyazi uba ke sofuna singene la eringini. Masinibulise sizibongele nathi ngelithuba esithe salifumana. Lo siphinde sizoba lapha KwaZulu-Natal. Besilapha ngo-August. Sizo-celebrate inyanga yabesimame. Sahlangana ke sakhuluma kamnandi ngokuthi yini efanele kuba ngabasiyenze ukwenza lento uba uBhengu esekhuluma ngayo lapha ukuthi abesifazane banikwe i-opportunity yokuba ngaba benze okufanele ukuba ngaba bayakwenza nabo ukukhulisa nokuphuhlisa ezesibhakela kweli lizwe ingakumbi ke apha KwaZulu-Natal. Nam mandikhahlele in particular to our champion, to our legend, to our great Babu Malika. We are truly proud of you. Whenever ngikhuluma noNyambos basikhuluma ngeKZN, he will always mention your name. So we're truly proud of you. We're humbled to be with you, in this session. Bangapi ababekhona when we were here last year, Saselai Westfield. We were part of our session in Westfield last year. Umbalo kakhulu. Esengicabanga ukuthi angisazukhuluma kakhulu ngiphinde izinto sasishilo lapha eWestfield. Ngokuna sasekuyi road show. Sikhuluma ukuthi yini efanele bangabasenzile ukuphuhlisa nokukhulisa ezesibhakela kweli lizwe. Sakhuluma ke lapha savumelana ukuthi kuningi okusele kungahamanga kahle la kwezesibhakela. Into ebalulekileyo ke ukuthi funeke sibambisane ukubuyisela ezamanqindi kulaa ndawo babeyishiye ikuyo obaba hence what we call renewal, growth and transformation of the sport of boxing. So andisazuya kakhulu on the background in terms of where we're coming from, why are we where we are. But ikhona indaba endizoyichaphazela as I move towards the end that touches particularly Ninala, KwaZulu-Natal, something that is really worrying me. All protocol observed. We've agreed that we're going to journey with Isanabo throughout these provincial conventions as our partners, because without open boxing, professional boxing will cease to exist. We can't exist without without open boxing. So we signed a memorandum of understanding with Isanabo. We are implementing that memorandum of understanding with Sanabo. We are journeying together towards rebuilding the sport of boxing, in this country. And we need not to overly emphasize, in my view, and I think in our view as Boxing South Africa, the difference between open boxing and professional boxing. Our focus should be the growing, the rebuilding, the reshaping of the sport of boxing, in this country. Which is why part of the programs that we've agreed upon that we need to put together is what we call from cradle to grave program. Basically looking boxers at the totality of Malinga. We can share stories about their own lives. At the totality of a boxer, not just your capability or your art as a boxer in terms of being this talented boxer, displaying your talent in the ring, but being that in the ring, this boxer that is attractive, that attracts crowds and so on, but also off the ring, being this boxer that is attractive to youngsters, that is a role model and so on. Something which I call us working towards producing really champions of life, or champions for life. Actually, champions of life in the sense that, so you want to project. All right, you can do what you want to do. We want to produce champions of life and champions for life. Never boxers. Champions of life, meaning that Babu Pengu, say GPV and so on. You don't do all those things. You are this role model. In the community, you are seen as an asset. People want to be associated with you, not because you are a champion, but because you are an exemplary champion. Because you are an exemplary champion. This thing of being a champion, again, Uba Malinga can share lots of stories about that. This thing of being a champion does not come into your head. Doesn't come into your head, but it makes you to be humble. Ube ngumuntu. Yamazi umuntu mos. Yazi le ndaba esikhuluma umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. Ube ngumuntu. Ungabe champion uyeke kuba ngumuntu, ube yenye into njena, ube yenye into njena esisigebenga esingayazi ukuthi yini kanye lena esiproduce le. That's what I mean about a champion of life, but a champion for life. So that for the rest of your life as a boxer. We are proud of you because all of us, we've got that destination. So that destination, you can't avoid it. You can try, all of us will go in there. So that until you reach your final destination, you are this champion for life, which is why now we are able to talk in his presence about Ubabu Malinga. So that's what we mean when it's saying renew and go back to basics, as boxing, as boxing South Africa. You see, you've decided to project this thing. Okay, it has not shown. Well, I'm not going to follow it through. I'm just going to move up and down. So that's basically our focus around renewing the sport of boxing. Renewing the sport of boxing is about a cradle to grave program. It's about going back to basics. It's about professionalizing the sport of boxing across licenses. And I want us in the commissions to deal with this. And Jobe and Mandla, somebody who said normally, you see these people who don't like us as Africans, you see ngulawo nguJobe, I mean as Africans siyabizana mos ngeziduko, some people say no, that's informal and so on because they want us to be English people, to be non-African, I think the Gauteng Boxing Convention dealt with this aspect quite well, probably not to our total satisfaction. So I want, when promoters meet, talk about this. What do they mean when they say they are part of promoting professional boxing? Boxers, when they meet, they must define for themselves, what does it mean to be a professional boxer? Trainers, they must also discuss this matter. What does it mean to them to be trainers, to be professional trainers? We had quite an interesting discussion, which confirmed anyway my own assumptions about this in the Gauteng Boxing Convention. I know when I was here last year, I said to trainers, we need to have a training philosophy, for the country, so that we know what is the character, what is the boxing culture in South Africa. For instance, we know that what I forgot now the country of these boxers that move forward. Yes, the Mexicans. We know that the Mexicans, they move forward. So you've got to be tactical. Otherwise, if you're going to do a toe-to-toe with the Mexicans and you are not thoroughly fit for that match, you're not going to make it. So, but then we know historically the culture of South African boxers, bobbing and weaving. But have we maintained that culture, or have we assimilated a totally different culture? So that's what I mean about having a training philosophy for the country. And that does not mean that, that does not take away the tactics that you use as a trainer to your boxer in preparation for a tournament. I mean, you have this in soccer, in other sports. In soccer, we know that the Brazilians, they play carpet football. We know very well. So why are we not having, so that's what I'm saying we need to be consumed with, in our discussions about professionalizing, for instance, in the context of training. And then we got into details about just understanding as a trainer, the boxer, understanding the health
the health issues around a boxer, you know, as a trainer, and you need training in order to understand that. You know, that if I exhaust the boxer in terms of this area of training, it may have these types of impacts, you know, over time in terms of his or her health. So I'm saying that's what we mean about professionalizing the sport of boxing. So again, going back to basics, the point that Ula was making here, having a pathway. I know that some licensees tend to panic when I put a lot of time when I talk focusing on boxers. And I'm being deliberate, and we're being deliberate as Boxing South Africa, you know, in this regard. Again, a development pathway, you know, for boxers. Now we've got national champs, national champions that are not known, that are not recognized. Why? Because we've lost the basics. The point about relaunching provincial belts. Yes, of course, we no longer have provincial commissions and so on, but we would want that pathway from being a provincial champ to being a national champ, and then to being a world champ. And then now with the development of boxing, we've got these things now which are called intercontinental, you know, IBO, intercontinental, this intercontinental, and so on. But I'm just being a traditionalist in this regard, and then we've got also ABUs. Being a traditionalist, my own view is the pathway is you become a provincial champ, national champ, world champ. The other things that intervene in between, they are just meant to, in my view, to make boxing activity basically happen. Which is why we've said the national title must be the national pride. We've got nothing else as Boxing South Africa other than the national title. Which is why we've said, Babengu, every funding that government contributes towards the sport of boxing, the national title must be part of that. And now the provincial title, is it two at least, where practically possible, 2 female bouts. Because at least we've got control over government funding, and government across the spectrum has agreed to this. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we then only fund these world titles and these intercontinental things, intercontinental bouts and so on, and then you basically then put aside your own. Kuthiwa yonke into iqala ekhaya mos angizwa. So that's what we mean about renewing the sport of boxing, about going back to basics. Growth of the sport is about, in our view, the growth of the sport, in our view, it's about ensuring that, one, as I said earlier on, we protect the boxer as a professional. 2, we put our house into order such that we are able to attract private sector funding into the sport. Put our house into order such that we are able to attract private sector funding into the sport. In many ways, we attract beyond SABC. SABC is in the bag now. It's just a matter of when do we sign the memorandum of understanding with SABC. You must have seen that we had a joint press conference with them confirming that we are signing that. So SABC is in the bag. But then promoters, are we ready to mount world-class tournaments on television? Are we prepared? Have we sharpened our capabilities in terms of eventing? We've got to discuss that as promoters. I don't understand why, as Andy